Hey everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to the ABC Scrappy Challenge, and I'm going to combine this with my For the Love of Homemade kits for February. We have moved on to the letter D, and this is a little bit of a different one. So instead of a product, it's again a theme. So my goal for you is to find a couple photos or one layout, whatever is going to be in your comfort zone, and tell a bit of the deeper story. So for example, you're going to see the photo I pull out here. I'm going to use it to tell, instead of just the fact that I went to Mother's Day tea with Jackson one Mother's Day, almost like a letter. It's just kind of a quote that I found on Pinterest, but I'm turning it into almost like a letter to Jackson, and that's going to be my deeper story. So that is going to be my very first example of how you do it. You kind of keep it within the same theme of the photo, but almost twist it, like plot twist, and make it about a different subject than you would expect it to be about. So that is my goal for you today. Working with this layout, you can see I did some mixed media. Within this kit, I pulled in a stencil that is not an actual stencil though. It's kind of like a paper thing. I think it's meant to be misted and then use it as a background. So I'm going to pull that in. You can see I spilled some of my paint, acrylic paint, and so I had some stuff to work with. And I did struggle with this layout. It was the very first one I worked on with my kit for February. I know this is coming up a little bit later, so you've seen one video already using the kit, but this was the first one I worked on and then realized that it fit within within this theme for the ABC Scrappy Challenge, so I held back on it. And I struggled with how to make it all kind of come together. I really do like the way it is in the end, but it was a struggle to get there. Part of my issue is I combine pink and green now, and teal, I guess. It's not colors I use very often together in this format, like these shades of colors. So that kind of threw me off, but it really kind of matched my photo. And then of course in my dress, I'm wearing blue. So I was trying to add in blue, and I struggle with cardstock that's not white as my background. I really struggle with that. That's something I do not do well. I am hoping to work on it a little bit more throughout the course of this year because I like the idea of it, but it's just not my thing. So I'm going to work through that and you're just going to kind of see how I go about it. I end up trimming this teal paper down, way down, and that really helps. And then I pull in the blue, which you can see here. Now, here is where sometimes, as efficient as I can be and as quick as I can be at some things, I messed this up a little bit. Now, I kept that piece of Chamel pattern paper, that blue one right there, because on the back of it, it has some 2x2 squares, and some of those 2x2 squares had a bear, a fox, and a bunny, and I had planned to cut those out and do a layout about my kiddos because that kind of fits within their themes. And yep, when I go to do what I'm about to do right here, I did not think about that, and I sure cut that bear and half the fox off right in half. So that layout will not happen now with this pattern paper. I was like, oh, I looked at it and I was so mad at myself. So the bear was salvageable, but I cut into the fox, and I really wanted to do the layout with all three of them within the same layout. So I'm letting that idea go. But just goes to show you, maybe flip your paper over if you like the back side of it, and make sure you're not cutting the wrong thing. So it's all good. The other thing I'm trying to do is add in that You're My Main Squeeze. I really tried to make that work because it was part of the thickers I pulled out for this kit, and I tried, and it's not working. It really is just not working. But I was, again, trying to make that mistake where I accidentally dropped the acrylic paint, and yeah, nope. So like I said, sometimes things are a struggle, and it's okay. You just kind of roll with it. Eventually, if you keep playing with it, it will get to something that you are satisfied with. I promise. If you just keep tweaking it, eventually things will come together. And that's just kind of what happened within this layout. So what ends up happening is I go ahead and I'm pretty like, okay, this really isn't working. What am I going to do? I stepped away, came back, and my idea kind of formed, which was helpful because with it playing and trying to make it work, the prompt of how to tell my story came into focus here. Now, my goal here is to have a bit of a longer title, and that title is going to be I promise, or as your mother, I promise, and then I list 3 things. And it's the quote that you've heard before, that I'll either be in one of 3 places. So right in front of you to help guide you, beside you to walk along beside you, or behind you to support you. Like that type of quote. I'm sure you've all heard that. I can't think of it word for word, but that is what the quote is about. And I really felt like I could make that work with this photo because it's the 2 of us. It's on Mother's Day. I'm talking about being as your mother, but it's the story about how I, as his mother, am going to support Jackson. And as you all know, with Jackson being diagnosed with autism, I feel like just helping him understand that no matter what, he will be supported. And so I like to do it in ways that don't scream out like, you know, I just try to do it in subtle ways sometimes. And I really feel like this one worked really well. So I love it. You can see I pulled back. So I ended up taking away that you're my main squeeze. I add in a tag, which was part of our layout or our kit as well. And then I brought back in that stencil that I had used, and I'm using it as what it was meant for, which is just like a second layer. So I love how that layer worked. It really kind of helped tie everything together, especially with the mistake I made. I pretty much covered up the mistake of the splotch of the pink that I did down at the bottom there. And then I work on my title, and then I'm going to use the letters that I put within the beginning of my title. I just use 3 of them and hand write out my journaling so that there's a bit of handwriting in there as well. You can see I added that XOXO. There's still the blue there to connect into my dress along with a blue arrow. And I used a few of the stickers from my kit as well. So I definitely dove into my kit, did some stitching with the black, and I'm really happy with the way that it ended out. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll go ahead and give this idea a try, telling a bit of a deeper story than maybe you would think to. And I will be back next week with one more video for this series. I'm not really sure where else to go with it because it's kind of a simple concept, but I'm going to try and think of something. So, and thank you for your patience, as I know I was gone a lot this week. I posted on Instagram about that if you want to know more, and I will see you all really soon with some more. Here's a look at my finished layout. Bye.